All right, so if you have your handout, if you would take a look at that, you see some of the questions that I had up at the top, or the ¿Quién tiene mi foto? ¿La tienes? Sí, lo tengo. No, or sorry, sí, la tengo. No la tengo. So that's the word for the it and the them, okay, because we have the word for they, ellos, but we don't have the word for them until today. So, I'm going to ask you a few more questions that go along with that kind of concept here. ¿Qué haces con mi fotografía? What do you do with my photograph? So again, if we were in class, somebody would have had it. So I would ask this question to them, and then I would ask them this follow-up question. ¿La comes? See what's going on here. Comes. Do you eat? Do you eat what? It. La comes. Well, no, that's ridiculous. No la como. No la como. ¿La pones en tu mochila? No la pongo en mi mochila. Notice the order of that. No la pongo en mi mochila. ¿La traes a tu cuarto? Again, the verb traer, to bring. Do you bring what? It. Again, all this time we can use that word la, we can use the it, because we know we're talking about a fotografía. So that's been established. So we can now get that word fotografía, which is way too long, get it out of there and replace it with our it. So do you bring it to your room? ¿La traes a tu cuarto? No la traigo a mi cuarto. ¿La quieres mirar? Or that same question could be, ¿quieres mirarla? Now let's take a look at what we just talked about here. ¿Quieres mirar? Do you want to look at what? It. There's my la again. Or notice the same question can be phrased in a little bit of a different way. ¿Quieres mirarla? Now, how does that differ from the first three questions here? La comes, la pones, la traes. Now, compare that to the last two questions, which are basically the same question. ¿La quieres mirar? Or ¿quieres mirarla? Notice what I have going on. I have two verbs back to back. Boom, boom. ¿Quieres mirar? If I have two verbs back to back, I can take that it, and instead of putting it at before the verb, I can smash it on to the end of the second verb in that two-verb phrase. So keep that concept. We're going to keep going on. We're going to add to that. How about this question? ¿Qué haces con mi libro? Again, I had given that libro to somebody. Had I done that in class, I would have asked this follow-up question. ¿Lo comes? Again, a ridiculous question. No, claro, no lo como. I don't eat it. No lo como. ¿Lo bebes? No. No lo bebo. ¿Lo comprendes? At this point, you would have looked at my libro and you would have found out that it was a pretty thick book in Spanish, and I'm pretty sure you'd have to answer that question no as well. No lo comprendo. I don't understand it. There's my it. No lo comprendo. Notice now two verbs in a phrase. Lo tienes que leer or tienes que leerlo. Do you have to read? Have to read what? It. There's the lo. And since I have two verbs in this phrase, I can choose to attach it to that leer. Okay? Sí, tengo que leerlo, or no tengo que leerlo. You can attach that to the end. Okay, let's keep going on that handout. Un verbo o dos is what we're kind of referring to here. So go ahead and fill in what's missing here. I have that sentence already there for you. Carlos practica el fútbol. If we take it apart word for word, what we have is Carlos practices or plays soccer. We got one verb, un verbo, right? Carlos practices it on Mondays, los lunes. What's my it going to become from el fútbol? If I'm going to take out el fútbol, I'm going to make it an it. It's going to become Carlos lo practica los lunes. Lo practica. Some changes though now. Carlos va a practicar el fútbol. Notice what happens. I just added a second verb in that phrase. Va a practicar. It's all one verb phrase, but there's two verbs in it. Va a practicar. So now, if I take that fútbol out, Carlos is going to practice it tomorrow. Carlos lo va a practicar mañana. Or, I have two verbs, I have two options. Carlos va a practicarlo mañana. Those last two say the exact same thing. The exact same information is communicated. It just can be done in two different ways because I have two verbs there. Okay? One verb, one choice has to go in front. Two verbs, two choices. And when I say two verbs, it has to be two verbs in the same phrase. Okay? Va a practicar. Tengo que leer. Quiero mirar. Anything that's two verbs in the same phrase like that, where the second one is in the infinitive. Okay, here's another one. Not an infinitive, but I still have two verbs together. Carlos está practicando el fútbol ahora. It's one of those progressive tenses we just talked about. So right now, he is practicing soccer right now. Notice again, I have two verbs. Number one is está. Número dos, practicando. So, notice what I can do. Carlos lo está practicando ahora, or Carlos está practicándolo ahora. Notice what happens. It doesn't go after it. It actually smashes into it. It attaches to it. When I have two verbs together, está practicando, I can attach it to the end of that second verb, practicando. Okay, so I have another, I think that's the end of that one handout for you, but go ahead and look at the other one that I also asked you to print out ahead of time. And let's go ahead and fill in what's missing here too. So we're just going to do a lot of practice with this today so you can see how these work. So, yo necesito las plumas. Take a second, see what's going on in that sentence. Yo necesito las plumas. I need the pens. Yo blank necesito porque tengo que escribir. Now, let's see what we have going on. I need what? Them. Them, of course, referring to las plumas. Porque tengo que escribir, because I have to write. Okay, now, I need what? I need them. What does the them refer to? Las plumas. So, I have a choice when I have a them, either the masculine los or the feminine las. Well, clearly, las plumas. So yo las necesito. Yo las necesito. I need them. Okay. Mariana come el sándwich. Okay, let's figure out what we have going on here. Come el sándwich, right? Ella blank come porque tiene mucha hambre. She eats what? It, because she's very hungry. I have everything represented in that sentence except for my it. What does my it refer to? El sándwich. Okay, I've got two choices of an it. I have a masculine it, lo, feminine it, la. I've got el sándwich. So, ella lo come. Porque tiene mucha hambre. You see why we can use this? I don't want to keep repeating the word el sándwich. She eats it because she's very hungry. She eats what? She eats it. Okay? Next one. Queremos abrir la ventana. Queremos abrir la ventana. Let's see what we have going on in that one. We want, queremos, to open the window. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more to that. Nosotros blank queremos abrir porque tenemos mucho calor. Hace mucho calor. We want to open what? It. It refers to la ventana. So there it is. There is my la. Or, I have that little or here. Notice what I have. In this particular sentence, I have, do you see them? Two verbs back to back. Queremos abrir. Queremos abrir. So if we want to open it, I can now attach it to the end of abrir, because I have two verbs. Now, I couldn't do that in the first two examples because I only have one verb. Necesito come. I only have one verb there. But now, I've got two verbs, queremos abrir, so you can most definitely do that. And then the it can go in either place. Javier lee los periódicos. Lee los periódicos. Talked about that as one of our pasatiempos. Javier blank lee porque está aburrido. He reads what? He reads them, right? Because he is bored. What does my them refer to? Los periódicos. There it is. Javier los lee porque está aburrido. Now, can I put my los at the end of lee? No, I cannot, because look what I have. One verb only. I can only do that in the when I have two verbs back to back. Okay, got a little bit of time to do a few more of these examples. I'm not going to get to the end of this PowerPoint today. We'll take it over where we left off, or we'll do some of the last examples. But let's take a look at a few more. Now we've done mainly just lo and la and los and las, but there's a few additional pronouns than that, and they are on your vocab sheet, by the way. They're on the back side of your vocab sheet. You will see those in that little box that has those los, las, lo, la. Now me, te, and nos. We're going to see those as well. Let's see what's going on with this question right here. A lot of times when we use these pronouns, we use them in answers to questions, so we don't have to repeat the words that were used in the question. So let's take a look at how that works in this question. ¿Quieres a tu mamá? Querer can mean a few things. It can mean to want, like do we want to open the window, right? But it can also mean to like / love. So here's the question. Do you love? ¿Quieres a tu madre? Do you like / love your mother? Well, of course, right? Sí, blank quiero mucho. I love her very much, right? Yo la quiero. Notice that la in the previous examples meant an it. That was a feminine thing, but now we can also use that same la to refer to her. Notice what is not there. Not the word ella. I love she makes no sense, right? I love her. Yo la quiero mucho. Okay, before we do that, if this had been ¿Quieres a tu padre? Sí, yo lo quiero mucho. Do you see what's going on there? I love him. La, lo can both mean it, but it can also mean him and her. ¿Crees a tus profesores? Okay, let's look what the question is. Do you believe your professors? Now, could you simply say, sí, creo a mis profesores? Yes, you could. But why? Because now we're going to be able to easily say, yes, I believe them. Of course, sí, claro. Yo los creo porque son muy, muy listos. Especialmente mi profesora de español es muy, muy lista. Right? So yo los creo. Yo believe, creo. And then here's my them that comes right before the creo. I believe them. Okay, next one. Okay. Me entiendes. Look what's going on here. Now I have one of these pronouns right there. Me entiendes. Cuando hablo en español. Now let's pick it apart. Entiendes. Do you understand? Do you understand whom? Look what comes right in front of it. Me. Me entiendes. It's not do you understand I. There's no place for an I in there. But do you understand me when I speak in Spanish? Sí. Yo blank entiendo cuando hablas en español. Yes, I understand you. Let's take a look at that. Yo te entiendo cuando hablas en español. So instead of my tú, I'm going to be using the object te. So you're not using it as a subject pronoun. It's not saying that you do this activity. It's I understand whom, I understand you as an object pronoun. I'm only going to get through maybe one more of these and then the end of the video is coming. We'll pick up where we left off. I have a few more little riddles that we're going to do. We'll start the next class with that. Let's do this. ¿Qué hace el profesor de español? What does the Spanish professor do? What does he do? Well, él blank enseña español. He teaches us. Spanish is what I was going for. Okay, we have learned the word we, nosotros. He doesn't teach we, he teaches us. Take a look at it. Nos enseña español. Nos enseña español. Okay, we're not to the very end of these examples, but we will take over. I'd like you to do a few things on Panorama with those, and I'll see you next time.